Sorry.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Royer won't be here tonight because his child's in the hospital. So that's why he's not here tonight. And I think they need some prayers. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Roll call.
Trustee Cox?
Here.
Trustee Foley?
Yes, ma'am, here.
Trustee Hopkins?
Here.
Supervisor Allen?
Here. Approval of the prior meeting's minutes.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Motion and a second.
Not gonna take long, but I would like this in the
Do
next.
we need a roll call?
Well, I just went into discussion.
Okay.
For a second discussion. Not gonna take long at all. I do want it in the next minutes, though, why I'm gonna be voting no. Not all the people that even spoke are even in the minutes. I don't know who wrote them down. I know Vicki was doing them, but I think they should be, no matter what they say, they should be in the minutes. Also, my report on the dissolution of CARD and the impact of the township and taxpayers is nowhere in the minutes at all, and there's a few other things, but that's why I'm gonna be voting no.
Moving on.
Oh, we have to
No.
roll call.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Cox?
No.
Trustee Foley?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes. The approval of the prior meeting. Or public comments. Anything on public comments? Yes, sir.
Phil Ostrowskis. I guess I'm a little confused by the negotiating with the laborers. Is this the final offer from them, the final offer from us? 2.5% seems a little over the top if this is the final. My biggest concern is I think the township should get out of the healthcare business. I think that should be a benefit jointly paid by the township and the taxpayers. As a senior, I pay over $400 a month, $400 a month for my insurance. I'm a senior. Many seniors are in Collinsville are paying the same thing I am if they're eligible to pay it on their own. Their Part B and their supplemental, plus their RX prescriptions. I don't know how we ever got into the healthcare business where we paid it all. I know a lot of government entities are very generous with benefits, but I think this is over the top. I think somewhere along the line we should meet a happy medium between 1.5% to 2%, but that deductible either's got to be $1,000 to $2,000. They should pay a portion of it, regardless of who we insure with and what the costs are. And I think everybody can understand why that is. But that's something that should be shared by the employees of the township and the taxpayers. I would like that answer to what was our last proposal. Was that from us, or is that from them to us? The other thing is, I'm in agreement with Derek. These minutes, why aren't they complete? I mean, it's not a real difficult task. I've been in the union all my life, and I've been to many unions. I've been a secretary, a president, a vice president, everything, but that type of minutes is just pitiful. But please give that some concern that you got minutes that meet up to the expectations of everybody in the room. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name's Ron Jetta. Excuse me while I get my reading spectacles on here.
Name and city and township.
I'm sorry, Collinsville Township, live in Collinsville Township. I'm here to just speak on a few topics tonight, and one of them that goes back to the Illinois state statute that requires that you have no more than 2.5 times excess over a 3-year average period. I just don't understand why you don't want to comply with the state statute. In particular, I'll point out Trustee Hopkins was a former police officer. At the time he was sworn in, he swore to uphold the laws of the state of Illinois and the Constitution of the state of Illinois. And also he did that at the time all of you did that when you were sworn in as trustees of Township Township. You're knowingly violating the state law. And again, it wouldn't be any different than if you had somebody when Mr. Hopkins, Trustee Hopkins, was a police officer, and if the law said that you couldn't drive more than 30 miles an hour, and somebody drove 90 miles an hour, you don't correct that by saying, well, I'll only drive 20 miles an hour for the next number of years, and then on average, I'm okay. So I just, again, don't understand why you're not trying to comply with state law. Another item just mentioned is I noticed in the 2018-2019 budget, and now it looks like for the levy, the Township Assessor's Office spends over 2 times as much in salary and benefits as someone like Edwardsville Township. They assess probably the same number of parcels, pretty close to the same number of parcels. I think it's 16,000, 15,000 roughly in that same category. After looking at the Madison County records, it indicates that Collinsville has a 1.0203 multiplier for the most recent records that were on the report. I think this shows that the Township Assessor's Office is not doing a good job. There's a number of townships in there that are below one or below. And again, if we've got 2.5 times the salary, it seems like it should be doing a little bit better job. On the union contract that was addressed by Phil Ostrowskis, it seems to me the whole process was botched. Supervisor Allen, I understand, gave approval to move forward along with Attorney Jack Doherty to begin negotiations. There was never any full vote by the board. Seems to me that if you have a contract you're going to try to enter into, you have to get authority from the board. I don't think anybody on this board would feel comfortable if 1 or 2 of the board members went out and said that they were going to approve a contract with a contractor to build a big building for the township. So I think the whole process has been botched. And I will say that I think the 2.5% increase in salary is over a 3-year period is probably maybe not necessarily out of line, but for those of you, there's some in here I think that are on Social Security, we got a whopping 2.8% increase this year after a 0.2% the year before, and I think 0 the year before and 0 the year before that. And to address the question about the deductible and the premium, from what I understand the contract calls for 0 premium to be paid, which I find to be just abhorrent. You've got thousands of people watching this video, or going to watch this video, that are senior citizens. My mother happens to be one for a number of years. She's paying an average of over $200 a month and on her premium, and then she's got a high deductible. You have to remember, as township supervisor and trustees, you don't represent the union. The union is, the employees are being represented by a union and by a union steward. As trustees and the supervisor, you represent the citizens of Collinsville, and many of those who are on Social Security, somewhat fixed income, and your job is supposed to be to look out for the taxpayers and what's best for the taxpayers. I don't know of anybody that has a 0 premium that they pay for their health insurance. I just find that unbelievable that you would get a 0, anybody would get a 0 premium. there's a lot of people out here that aren't seniors,
Time's up, thank you.
and they're looking at a much higher increase. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Anybody else? Moving on. Yeah. Reports by officers, committees, or special committees?
Did you have something or not?
Yeah, actually,
I'd like to hear from the senior director, just, she discussed something with that.
Of the senior citizen building.
Right, senior director.
hi, so just a couple of things. We are starting to become a little bit of a stockpile of things that, need to get cleared out of the building. And I just wanted to bring that just to the radar, of what are we gonna do about, like, we have the organ, nobody uses it, it takes up space, I don't want it. There's a big bench in the lounge area, nobody sits on it, takes up space, I don't want it. When there's all this extra clutter in the building, it makes it hard for me to swap out for all the different activities, which we're getting more and more. In any given day, I might have all 3 rooms going at the same time with different room setups, and so I'm constantly moving furniture, and I've become limited in what I can do because we've got this stuff, but I've been told that I don't have the authority to just say, haul that out to the dumpster, because it's property, even though some of it is so archaic, like, we have this giant thing that you run a thing over it and it writes checks. I don't write checks, I don't need that. We have a coffee machine that bit the dust, and it's not under a service contract anymore. I have a new copy machine that is under a service contract, and now I've got this dinosaur sitting
Yeah,
in
it's like
the
with all the
corner.
improvements we're doing, one to clean up.
Right, I
Yeah.
just,
Well,
so,
Less
and
things to move.
Absolutely.
things to move and things that maybe have a monetary value that I don't know, I mean, I can't just haul stuff
won't-
that's worth
We
something.
can't take action tonight, but I just wanted, what's a suggestion, the best way to dispose of this surplus property? I mean, could we,
You can sell it, or you can donate it, for credits, or just donate it.
okay,
These are township resources that probably have some value, and we should probably try to find a way to recoup them.
I guess, because there's some old computers in there that are probably about 10 years old on the shelf.
Right.
I think we ought to just get a list of things, maybe bring it to the next board meeting, and we'll, maybe give everybody's opinion, what has monetary value, what
Right.
doesn't, so,
What would you
because
keep
you know
for
what?
trash?
Derek might know somebody that might use old computers, I'll say, let's just recycle it and
Right.
get it on, but just to give an example.
That's a good idea.
But so,
Yeah.
I guess,
Just make a
and
list.
maybe,
Okay, I can do that.
what you wanna get rid of, and what room it's in today,
Okay.
so, but I just thought we need to address that, because in January, construction's gonna be starting, we need to get this
I
place cleaned up.
appreciate that. And then, one other thing I just want to bring to the radar, but not really worry about discussing as of yet. But we've had some graffiti, that has come up a couple of times on our west-facing wall, our exterior wall, the cinder block portion of it. I've done some research on, ways to deter graffiti, and one of them is through, painting a mural. And so I have contacted, the art department at SIUE, and they have other public art displays that they've done, we can see precedent of things that they've done. They've got a mural somewhere on Main Street that they have now. I wanted to just run it past you guys just to kinda have it on your radar.
Is this on the brick?
The cinder block.
Yeah, so the west
So-
side of the building, excuse me.
It's
That's right.
It's a
It's
light
cinder block,
gray
right.
cinder block.
Yeah, yeah,
And so,
yeah.
like, it
Okay.
keeps getting graffiti on
And
it.
it's happened more than once.
Oh, it's happening.
What did the police say? Numerous
Wow.
times. We don't have a camera out there?
The
Oh, that's
camera
right.
doesn't,
Doesn't cover
face
it.
that wall.
No.
And I
I mean,
mean, it's not
is the
been
graffiti
huge,
good?
it's just,
Well,
We
I
should
just,
choose theirs.
I talked to her
I mean,
today, she's gonna let us know about it.
Yeah, Road and Bridge has come out and washed it
Right.
off right away, and, you know, it's been fine, but just,
If we can make it look nicer
It would-
and not make Larry's guys keep them cleaning it off, I think that's a win-win for everybody.
you know, it'd just be kind of a showstopper for the township if we did something that, maybe depicted some historical scene of Collinsville, maybe something with the mining, or with the, like our,
Horseradish.
horseradish, or, you know, just cool stuff, or maybe different things. But anyway, the president, or the, head of that department was interested, very interested in that,
And donated?
I believe it's not going to cost us anything.
Supplies.
The supplies,
Yeah.
which, I mean, we could even try contacting Sherwin-Williams
Yeah, we
and
can talk
see if
about
they
that.
wanted to.
Like I said,
But I'll
I think it's a good
find out
idea.
more
Yeah.
details and
Sounds
give like a
good.
real presentation on it. I
Yeah.
just wanted to kind of pull it up to
it's kind of an ugly wall.
the back of your
Make it
mind.
Right, okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. Moving on to.
I got just a couple things, and I'll try to answer the questions pretty quick. First, I was hoping that our county, Madison County Chairman, Kirk Prinzler, was gonna make it, but he couldn't make it. But he did ask me to deliver some good news, to everybody, and I got a press release. I'll just go on and hand these around. And I know, Dan, you stopped me last time, said that card dissolving wasn't township business. I think it's a very big deal, and you'll see why in the press release. First of all, for citizens in Maryville, Collinsville, and Collinsville Township, especially in Maryville and the unincorporated areas, your bills are gonna go down, your tax bills are gonna go down, especially. Plus, for the first time, this senior center is gonna be eligible now for, it's called PEP grant money, all right? And we were talking about this while we were out, I was out getting signatures all summer. But, in the press release, it says $15,000, but then there's another report that says $28,000. So somewhere in between, which is great news, every single year, this senior center, for the first time, is gonna get money from the county, back from taxpayers, to help with things here, activities at the senior center. And I think that is great news. It's an all-around win, so I wanted to report that. Also, on the minutes that I love so much. Anyway, it says here, and I wonder, it says, Trustee Cox claims there is a difference in the amounts between the county and that we have, and then the reason was explained. What it was is, last meeting, remember, I said, this doesn't make sense, because we levied money, and then the county website is showing zero. Remember that? And I said, no, that's not true, that's not true. Well, I did some digging, and here's what happened. And I want to pass that down to Dan and Mike. Last year, we did levy audit, insurance, and general assistance. Those were funds that were over that 2.5 years. But then, we did an abatement for $100,000, and what that is in just general terms is, we told the county, hey, we've changed our mind, we don't want any taxes in these funds. Zero, make them zero. So when Jim was here, our accountant said, no, we levied in those funds, that actually we didn't. Because then, as you see, it was filed in February, we abated those taxes, see, Dan, for $100,000.
I know, I voted on it.
Right, yeah, you and I and Terry. So anyway, now it makes sense. And, because Jim saw me in the office the other day, and he's like, no, we levied, and then so I called the county, and then they gave me that, so that makes sense. So I wanted to report on that. The two comments, is this a final deal, Phil? And that's very important, because this whole process, we were always told, because think, in a negotiation, there's two sides. There's the union side, all right, the employee side, and then there's the taxpayer side, all right? On the union side, they've had time to think about it, talk about it, come up with numbers, give them to us, then we would have meetings, talk about it, give it back, okay? But never has the taxpayers been able to actually see until 2 days ago what the deal was. So, is this a final deal? Well, they're pushing for this to be a final deal tonight, because it says vote on. That's why, I mean, I did what I could, I put it on Facebook. That's the only thing I know how to do.
Yeah, that's very unethical in my opinion,
Why is that?
because the contract is not done.
No, the
And you
contract.
can't do that.
Where are we voting?
Hold on. Mike, what it is it's on our website. The contract is on our website.
That's right, and I think it's unethical and
But
unprofessional.
even by law, like on our levy, it has to be available for public view for 2 weeks before we can vote on it. It's not unethical, it's,
No.
not accurate.
oh, so it doesn't have to be on the
No,
website?
we did that just in an abundance of transparency, we didn't have to do that. It's not
No,
changed
the law, the way I understand it is if we have a website,
No.
all right? If we have a website, then it has to be,
You're talking about the Open Meetings Act.
Right.
It's completely different.
okay, so so you're saying about, so the levy doesn't have to be on the website, or are we talking about the union?
The publishing of the levy is
Mhm.
subject to a whole different statute.
Okay, so we're talking about just the union contract?
Right.
Okay, so what you're saying is the union contract does not have to be on the website, but we put it out there.
Right.
Okay, so I'm clear on that, but Mike,
Wait a minute,
yeah,
we put it out there?
yes,
On the
we did.
website, we did.
I mean, what is the big deal? You don't want, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you not want these folks and the taxpayers knowing what we're voting on?
Yes, but
Then how are they gonna know
the
if the town?
problem is, this contract is not done yet.
Mike,
Still negotiations going back. and
okay, is there?
forth.
Great, that's great,
Well,
because
the way I understand it,
on the agenda tonight, it says vote on the union contract. And I agree.
did you read your stuff in your packet?
What do you mean? What's your question?
The union contract, their offer,
Yeah,
their
I see
past
that.
offer is in there.
Yeah, I see that, and then we're gonna get to that, and then I have
Well,
some
if we
things that I
don't
would
wanna
like.
vote for it, then we don't vote for it.
That's great, I'm glad you're open to not voting for it then.
No, I
Okay.
didn't say that. I did not say that.
Then what did
I
you
said, if we don't wanna vote for it. I did not say me, I said, if
I
we
agree,
don't.
I agree.
It's
So
a we
Bill,
party, not an I.
my point is I do agree that, to me, this doesn't have to be a final. This is the first time that the taxpayers, the other side, has gotten a chance to review it. Again, I just want you to understand, Mike, and I want the employees to understand, I want what's just fair. I want fair on both sides. There's give and take. It has to be fair for the taxpayers and fair for our employees. I want to attract good people. Lastly, to Ron's point, the 2.5 years, what we've been doing is, because I couldn't get the board to go along with returning the money last year, we had a knockdown drag out on that, but we did lower the levies to 0. And so I think that is a partial win, at least. Again, my worry is down the road, when taxpayers, last year, their taxes from township did go down, which is great. Every year, it's gonna say, oh, it's getting better, this is nice. Well, then one year, we are gonna have to.
And you voted no against that levy last year, lowering the
That's right,
tax.
because listen, Dan, and I already made this point last time. I voted absolutely because I want to get the money back. It's their money.
Apples and oranges. The levy is
No,
one
it's not.
issue, the money back is another issue.
No,
Right.
no,
You
that
were-
was what we were talking about, and I did not want to vote in something that was in violation of the law. And that is violation of law.
No, it's not.
You guys, it's not?
No, it's not.
I'm not gonna argue with it.
Okay,
Move
Mr.
on.
Attorney? You stated 2 meetings ago that it absolutely was violation of the statute. Is it or is it not?
So the statute says that there shall not be more than 2.5 times the average of the prior 3 years.
Yes.
What it doesn't say is what the remedy is.
Right.
So,
So are we or are we not in violation of the state statute?
well, the fund amounts are violative. They are in violation. So
Right.
they simply are. But by not levying to increase them, you are addressing the situation.
Right, but it's gonna take 10 years. And so, like Ron stated, so instead of, well, I'm going 90, from now on I'll go 20, and then I won't be in violation. Do you see what I'm saying? So go ahead.
The other issue is that they were over 2.5 times prior to that new statute being enacted, so there are some extra facto qualities to what's going on. So it's not as, how clear the violation is, certainly moving forward it's clear, but it's being remedied by the 0
No, I agree. And listen, my whole point was, that's the way we are remedying, we are trying as a board, and you know, again, it's a partial win, and I'm for that, so, go
There's
ahead.
5 people here, we all have 1 vote. I don't always get my way, you don't always get your way. This is about the 12th time you brought this up. It's rehashing the same thing. We have addressed it, we are lowering the levy, and we're taking action. There's a whole lot of reasons, and I'm not gonna waste everybody's time that I've given before on why I'm not for doing refunds. I've already said it. You know, I just find it ironic, Derek, that you sat here last meeting and said you're wanting to work with everybody and wanting to work together for the betterment of the township. Did you not say that last meeting?
I say that every meeting,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then
It takes more than
I
one.
get messages from people saying how you're putting videos out there with captions, degrading people, embarrassing them. I don't watch it, because I'm not gonna serve this board through Facebook.
Yep.
I don't watch it, but I got over 12 phone calls after the last meeting. You say one thing in the meeting on your little video here,
Mhm.
and then you do a separate thing on Facebook by being derogatory and demeaning to people. And if people post something that you know isn't true, you don't even respond to it. But if you like what they
That's not
say,
true.
people send me screenshots there. I'm not going to argue with you here. I'm just stating what I see. You say one thing and you do another. You need to decide which one you're going to do. Do you want to work for the betterment of this township, or do you want to go on Facebook and degrade people?
Listen, Dan,
And do it.
Dan, I'm not gonna let you sit there and tell lies about me, because that's not true. That is not true. I explained what's
I got the
going on.
screenshots.
If you wanna take it, listen, if you wanna take it one way, that's fine. If I say a comment about Mike, all right?
Which you have.
Absolutely I do, all right?
Numerous
But
times.
they're absolutely true. They're absolutely true. It's
Are
not
we-
something
are we
that's...
about
By
done?
calling
Hey,
them
Are we
names?
about done?
what names? I call him by his name.
He's got the floor.
Go ahead.
Moving on.
Yeah, I'm done talking about it, because
You-
we'll talk about the contract when we get to the contract.
Okay, moving on to, approval of bills on the general assistance bills for $4,852.39.
So moved.
Mike, second by
I'll second it.
Dan. Any questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
Supervisor Allen.
Yes. On the road and bridge fund bills for $60,142.16.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
Supervisor Allen.
Yes. Equipment funds for $155,734.
Nope, that's not correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, here, I see it. $163,482.
I'll make the motion to approve with the
Have a
question.
I'll second.
You had a
What did we
question?
buy, Larry, for $150,000?
A 2019 International dump truck.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to point that out. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't gonna get it, because I saw we sold one too, right?
Yeah, we sold the old one.
Right. All right, I have no more
Okay,
questions.
yes.
Trust,
The town fund bills?
wait
No,
a
we gotta
minute.
approve it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
Supervisor Allen.
Yes. The town fund bills for $49,014.09.
So moved.
Motion and a second.
Go ahead.
Any
I'll
questions?
second.
Yeah, I got you for a second. Roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
Supervisor Allen.
Yes. No. Okay. And correspondence. Anybody have anything on correspondence?
The correspondence.
None? Nobody? Okay, moving on. Unfinished business. Or unfinished business. Yeah, vote for the, project labor agreement.
I move to approve the PLA, or renew it, just a resolution of, renewing it.
This is the ordinance.
Right.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
trustee Foley,
Aye.
trustee Hawkins,
Yes.
supervisor Allen.
Yes. Voting on the road and bridge fund. Yeah. GSP 54.
B.
Yeah, okay. Motion, under B,
Some,
a motion and second,
Okay, you
Yep.
motion.
second by Mike.
Yeah, what this is just it's a government accounting standards board. We have to approve this every year for our road and bridge funds. They have to be, accounting methods have to be a certain way, is that correct?
Well, yes, and that's for the capital outlay.
Right. Okay, I just want everybody to know what we're approving.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, roll call.
Trustee Cox,
yes.
trustee Foley,
Aye.
trustee Hawkins,
Yes.
supervisor Allen.
Yes. Vote on for new business, vote on the tax levy.
Which one do we want to, start on?
I'll make a motion, we approve the township tax levy ordinance.
Yeah, second.
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, let's have discussion here. So in this levy, the 4 funds that we had talked about went to 0. General assistance, audit, insurance, all right? In this levy, I'm sorry, there's 3, and then in the road and bridge, there's 1. It's the insurance and the road and bridge. So there's 3 in this one that are now 0 because those are over the law limit, all right? So we're good there. What we had discussed last meeting is the assessor's office. And what I moved to do is because, again, Edwardsville Township has 16,100 and something, all right, parcels. We have 16,500 parcels, right around there. They spend on their payroll $155,000. That's all together. That's on their part-time help as well. And I have the letter from Ms. Klopmeyer explaining how they just work hard, and they have 3 employees altogether. Their assessor and 2 deputy assessors. Altogether, right now, we budget and levy for 8, all right? And so we have right now, I understand, is it 6 that are working?
Yep, 5.
Including you, it would be 6, okay. So we have 6, they have 3, that's including the assessors. And we spend $387,000, it's well more than double. I'm motioning that we try to get more in line with Edwardsville, and Dan, you seemed on board last meeting. You wanted to talk to our assessor by 25%, okay? If we did that, we would still be...
Stop. I did not say that. I did not say...
What did you say?
I said we are levying for 2 additional employees that we haven't hired for 2 years.
Right.
I said I would be
Open.
I would be open to not levying for that. I said any further cuts, I would want to, any cuts, I'd want to discuss it with Pete, since it's his office.
Mhm.
He's the elected official in charge of that, and,
Okay, we're on the
I
same
mean,
page.
I just want to make sure, don't put words in my mouth.
We're on the same page. So
Okay,
anyway...
Wait a minute, wait
Yeah, go ahead.
a minute. You had the floor, I want the floor.
Go ahead.
When we approved the budget from the assessor's office,
Mhm.
we can't cut it. He's the only man that can cut it. Yes, by township law, don't sit there and shake your
So
head,
then
no.
why- let
You're
me ask you
wrong.
this, let me ask-
You are wrong.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. Stop getting so defensive. My question is...
Well,
is
when
it-
you're making false statements,
No, I'm
you
not.
gotta be
Listen,
defensive.
if you're saying that we're not authorized to do it, all right, then who is authorized to do it? You're saying that he's authorized to do it? He's the only one authorized to make the levy and the budget?
No.
We're the ones, we are authorized to approve it and to approve that levy.
Time out.
Yes.
The budget, we either accept or don't accept that he puts forward to us and that, and the same thing for the levy. But we've already approved his budget, that's in this levy.
Okay, and that
So
levy...
you can't cut it.
So, point is, this is coming out of the general fund. We can absolutely cut our general fund We can absolutely do that. It is our general fund, we are authorized to do this levy, that's where his money comes out of, all right? This also, and this is the best time to do it, because, and here's why, if you do it during budget time, all right, then he's gotta scramble and do something. Right now, this gives him a whole 6, 7 months to say, hey, we're not gonna be hiring these 2 employees. They've done it. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask the assessor to speak to this.
Sure.
I think he knows the law. How many years you been our assessor, sir?
40 years.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something right now. First of all, I understand on Facebook, but I'm gonna get this out of my system fast. You said all my employees do is take pictures. You want a list of what they actually, no, yeah.
Listen, what somebody says, listen, I know you troll my
Can you
stuff.
let him speak?
Yeah, let
I'm
him-
not gonna allow somebody
Wait,
to say something that's false about me. I
Wait
did
till he's
not
done,
say that.
wait till he's done speaking.
I did not say that. If
Sir,
somebody else
hey,
says that,
wait till he's done speaking.
then that's not on me. Go ahead.
I'll tell you,
You can't
my
say that.
employees, you wanna know what they all do?
Sure.
Let me read the whole list to you.
It's up to you.
I expect them to know what a split is. Do you know what a split is?
Absolutely not.
How about a subdivision?
Yeah, I know what a subdivision is. I guess.
How about changes? You know what change orders are, the change stuff we have to do? You don't even know what those are. Permits, we provide all permit information for Collinsville, Maryville, Pontoon Beach, Glen Carbon. I imagine Edwardsville and Glen Carbon get, for the stuff up in Edwardsville, they probably get it from the county instead of us. Yes.
I have a letter that states that they don't,
Yes, I did.
so they're lying. Go ahead.
Annexations, we handle those. Homesteads, SB 1790, disabled persons, disabled veterans, returning veterans, senior freezes, homestead improvements. I spend more time on exemptions now than we used to do and back in when I started. We had a few to do, but now we got thousands of them. Mobile home registrations. We have to go to each mobile home park and get the owner's name. We have tax bill questions, tax bill corrections, certificates of error, stipulations of appeals. We do that. Edwardsville doesn't, I'm pretty sure. Drawings. We do all our own drawings. We have to measure the house. We have to know what we're measuring. Calculations of the houses. Cost approach, income approaches, and sales comparison approach. We're about the only township that does that. We do that because we do our job better. In spite of what somebody says about multipliers,
I have it. I have the multiplier. Go ahead.
the multiplier is a tool. Everybody thinks it tells you how good of a job you're doing. It does not tell you how good of a job you're doing. It's a tool. All it is to help the state put out the financial stuff.
Well, how do you gauge then what kind of job you do, other than just,
I look at my coefficients of dispersion and how equalized we are. That's the only thing I care about. And we are one of the most equal around there is.
well, I have it right here, and what I'm saying is, we are right on track. Last year, we were worse than Edwardsville. This year, we're a tad better.
It's going to vary from year to year because it's
Right.
statistical samples.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the whole point is, Pete, I'm telling you, I don't begrudge our employees in the assessor's office, even though they don't like me, that's fine. I don't begrudge them. Not at all. The point is this, Edwardsville is doing it with 3, we are doing it right now.
You know what?
with
Why don't
6
you
and
talk
actually
about
3.
what the other townships are doing?
I-
They've got more employees than Edwardsville by far. Granite City, Wood River, Alton, and you know why? Because they don't have a whole bunch, like us, they don't have a whole bunch of exempt properties like Edwardsville do. And they also don't have a bunch of apartments that, when you do one, you do a whole bunch of them. We got all kind of variety of properties. They don't.
Well, I think that they would argue
And
against
they get, a
that.
lot of their people go to the county instead of coming to the township office to get their stuff.
Okay,
I don't know how she does it with 2. I guarantee you cannot do the job with 2.
so I'm not proposing that.
And
We're on the same page.
the
I'm
reason
not
I need
proposing
the
that.
extra 2, it takes 5 years to train these people, because I expect every one of them to know something about appraising.
So why,
It takes
how
5
many years
years
has,
for an appraiser to get licensed.
how many years have we went with the 2 less? Mike said it was 3 last meeting, but it is 2, correct?
Been Well, about if you 2. if you counted him, it would be 3 less. It would be 7 plus him.
No, you said we were budgeting for 3 more than what we have. That's what
No,
you
I
said.
did not say that.
Okay, so it's 2. Okay, let's get that clear.
Why? Because I didn't need him for that period of time. But now we're looking at, I've got some people going to retire in about 5 years.
Then we would replace those folks.
I need to train them now to replace them in 5 years. You don't pick somebody up off the street.
I'm not saying that. Again, just to understand, I'm here on the taxpayer side, okay?
You're here as a trustee.
That's
You're
right.
on neither but nobody's side.
Well, I'm here to get the very best deal for our
No,
citizens.
you're here to get the job done.
I don't know what that means, but maybe we're on the same page. Point is this, when I see Edwardsville doing the same job on the multiplier,
Then why
And
don't you
on
go look at
the
some of the other
parcels.
townships?
I used Edwardsville because they're right next door, sir.
Oh, well,
That's
gee
it.
whiz,
And
so
they
is
have the
Granite
exact.
City, and so is,
But Granite-
Alden, and so is Wood River.
Okay, but listen, Edwardsville, let's stop, yes. But Edwardsville has the same number of parcels, that's why I use it. Do you think I went into this trying to say, I'm gonna find something? I did not. I wanted Dan to come with me to the meeting.
I
You see
would
what I'm
say
saying?
Wood River's got 15,484, Alton's got 15,141, Granite City's got 13,681.
And just so you understand, I FOIA'd, and Jack was at the meeting, this is the first meeting you've been here since this, and you wouldn't know. I FOIA'd these other townships, Wood River, in which I'm still ticked off, they never sent me the information. Listen, I'm the only one that went out and got this information. I'm trying to get the best deal for me and for my friends and our citizens. That's all I'm trying to do, and what I'm saying is if they can do it with 3, all right, we can do it with 6. That's all I'm saying. 6. If they can do it with 3, we can certainly do it with 6. Do you
I've
agree
been
with
running
that?
this township for 40 years.
We
I
can't
know
do it
what
with 6?
I know what I need to run this township the way it should be run, and to meet the statutory.
You did it last year, and you did it 2 years now with 6. You can't do it moving forward with 6?
I told you the reason why is I need to get 2 more people trained to replace 2. I probably will have 5 at the end. But right now, I gotta get 2 people trained for the future.
So Dan, you like levying money, and then what do they do with the extra money? What have you been doing with that extra 70,000, 68,000?
It's part of your surplus.
Still there.
I don't spend money I don't have to spend.
It rolls over.
I just don't see what message this is sending to the voters with you voting yes, for us to have 8.
It's a motion, it's gonna send a message that he runs his department, he's the expert, I'm not gonna tell him how to do it, okay? Mr. Supervisor, we have a motion and a second on the floor, I call
Okay.
for a vote.
Okay, one thing with Mike here,
Go ahead.
there was,
Go ahead.
okay.
Hey, I'm not gonna speak for the assessor, but I can tell you, how many times have you been in the assessor's office and know what it takes to do what it takes in there, and know the, what is that called, continuing education fee? That they have to go to,
Every
I
year.
believe, each girl 3 times a year,
2 to
2
3
to
times.
3.
They gotta get 30 hours in a year.
and they have to pass that course.
Mike, does Edwardsville not have to do that?
Huh?
Does Edwardsville not have to do that? Am I
Every
paid to be an
township, as far as
assessor?
I know,
I'm
I don't know what
paid-
she does with her employees,
Listen.
I insist on it.
I'll give you the letter just so you can have it, what she sent. We had a long conversation, I wanted to
Keep
bring
it,
Dan
I don't
up.
want it.
But here's the point. Mike, I'm not hired to be the assessor. That's Pete's job.
Nor am I.
Okay, but
We
you're
just
asking,
told you what you're here for.
but you're asking me.
You're a trustee.
Right.
You are to make sure the township runs as smoothly as possible.
At the best
Leave
cost.
everybody,
At the best cost to our citizens.
Uh,
We can do it. Listen,
not necessary.
Let's call for the vote, we ain't getting no further.
Yeah,
Trustee
let's
Cox?
go. We don't need to be here till.
I'm gonna vote no.
Last meeting.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Supervisor Allen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The vote on the union contract?
No, road going to.
No, we gotta do the road and bridge,
Oh,
Bobby.
oh, yeah, we got the road and bridge.
Motion to approve the road and bridge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
I have no
Any questions? If none, roll call.
You have questions on the road and
Do
bridge?
you wanna explain anything in there, or anybody, or?
Do I?
Yeah, I'm asking, I don't wanna,
It's been published.
okay, so anyway, the one fund is 0, like I explained, so,
You already mentioned that.
Which fund?
What?
Insurance.
Insurance?
Yes.
I missed that. I won't look for that.
We didn't levy anything because we had a surplus in the money, 8 times.
Is that correct, Kathy? Okay, all right, then I will.
Ready for roll call?
Sure.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we voted on the union contract.
We can have a discussion, a motion to approve is presented.
Okay.
So we can discuss this? Is that all right with you guys?
Motion and second. Somebody needs to second it.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second, roll call.
Wait,
No, hold on, we're not ramming this through too, gee. It's, again, it's not fair to the taxpayers. They
Okay, go ahead.
deserve to
Just
have a
go-
voice.
Go ahead, then, go ahead.
Okay. First, I wanna start by saying there's no vote until there's an actual vote, okay? So, something that somebody said on Facebook or in the hallway or whatever, there's no vote until there's an actual vote. The two problems, the biggest problems that I have, and maybe we can fix them. Maybe we can fix them tonight, we can vote and move forward. The first is the back pay, all right? To my understanding is, I could be wrong, but to my understanding, this is why back pay matters. Like, when I was in my union, I was working under a contract, the contract ended in June, we're negotiating, during that time of negotiation, I continued to get paid what I was getting paid, then when we got the new deal, then my pay started when that contract ended. And the reason is it keeps both parties in good faith, where the one's not taking longer just to save money. Am I fairly correct on that, Jack?
Yes,
Okay.
essentially.
Right, okay. And so, the thing is, I understand it when it's a contract rolling into a new one. What people need to realize is, this is a brand-new contract. This is brand new to the township. The township employees, which, again, I'm all for them, wanting to join a union. I think unions are great. Again, I was shop steward in my union, all right? A lot of friends in unions. Point is, they joined a union, and I guess they notified someone here, but now they want back pay until June. How is that fair to the taxpayer? We're still negotiating. There's a couple employees, we didn't force anybody to stay here and say, hey, you have to work and you have to do this. If you don't like your job, you can quit, and I don't like that, but some people did quit. Now we're going to write them a check, send it to them, and they don't even work here anymore for back pay? That's what we're doing, and that doesn't jive with me. And so, anyway,
No,
I can't do that.
I think you're wrong on that.
Yep.
Well, I was told that the two employees that were quit because they were here in June, that we would be sending them a check. Is that not correct?
That's not right, there's no way.
Well, hold on. That's what I was told.
Please, Riley.
And so, I don't see how that's correct. That's giving taxpayer money away, all right? My other point is this. Jack, how did you find out that the union organized? When and how?
Honestly, I don't remember specifically, but I remember being asked to participate or start conversations with the union representative.
Why did you not notify this board when that happened?
I had presumed that everyone was aware.
And so who, if
I
you
think
didn't
everyone was
notify,
aware.
what's that?
I think everyone was aware.
Okay, now hold on. You thought that the board was aware in June.
Well, I couldn't say the month.
No. June to August is 2 months, okay? My question is, and I'm not trying to be mean, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, because I don't see how these taxpayers should have to pay for somebody's mistake. That's not right. This board was not notified until August, and the only way it was notified, it wasn't never notified. I was going through our bills, and I saw your bill, and I said, Jack, what's this $1,000 for, whatever? And you said, well, I'm negotiating with the union. How in the world? That has to come through this board. Like, he made a good point. So Dan could go out there, you and Dan could go out there and say, hey, let's negotiate to do this building and stuff. That can't be the way it works. And so, the way I heard, again, I don't know, that the union, because I don't wanna, if it's not their fault, it's not their fault, I don't know, but did they give a written letter to somebody, and then it didn't get to the board? What happened?
It's my understanding that written letters went to both the supervisor and to the assessor. I don't know, I never saw either letter, so I can't really speak.
And that far back, I couldn't say that right now without going back and getting it.
Then why didn't you present that to the board?
Why should I? It's not my job.
Then whose job? I don't understand. Then this board has to approve the contract, sir. That it's against the law. I mean, how in the world can you? I don't understand.
So the one thing that I will say is that, I was under the impression that I was authorized, with the supervisor to negotiate. When I realized that I hadn't been specifically authorized, we did have a vote, and you did vote.
Late in August,
You
right.
did vote to authorize Dan.
Absolutely, I did. I sure
You
did.
did vote to authorize Dan and I to negotiate the contract. I was just trying to complete my sentence.
Okay, but, yeah, I don't know why we're paying back to June.
Let's see what Dan's got to say.
I think this is about the 5th time that's been brought up that we didn't get notice
Yep.
here. I made a point, I wasn't happy with it. I never was told what happened with the notice, but to me, I wasn't happy, end of it, okay? I can't turn back the hands of time. Complaining about it 4 more times isn't gonna change the fact that we were notified. The fact of the matter is, the Illinois Labor Relations Board sent a letter, and that's the date the bargaining unit starts.
Yep.
Their back pay has nothing to do with us getting notice. That's totally a separate item. It's apples and oranges. Do I agree we didn't get notice? Absolutely not. I was not happy either, and I think you know I got upset at that meeting.
The meeting, you weren't there.
Well,
The meeting that I found, you were not there. Go back to the tape.
I'm not gonna go back to the tape. I'm just telling you. The one meeting I voiced my displeasure that we weren't notified. But the fact that you weren't happy, you weren't notified, the fact that I'm not happy doesn't give us the statutory right not to give them back pay when we're in collective bargaining agreement. If you wanna look at the dollar figure, okay, if back pay was be the only thing that was holding us up, it's only about between $5,000 to $6,000. I didn't figure it up exactly, but I just did roughly, and it's between $5,000 and $6,000, I think, for the supervisor's office and the senior center. The assessor's office is already getting their pay. They've been getting it since April 1st, okay? There's no back pay for them. They're already getting what...
So you're just saying it's essentially
Can I finish?
okay because it's
Can I
not,
finish?
it's not a lot of money?
I guess that's no.
Huh?
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay?
Not with him.
I'm not saying it's okay for that reason. However, if it's $5,000 to $6,000, and I'm not happy about the notice, but that has nothing to do with their back pay. Any collective bargaining unit, if they would take that issue to arbitration,
Yep.
there is not an arbitration award given without back pay. I will guarantee you. So the back pay is gonna equate to about $5,000 to $6,000, that's an estimate I just did real quick on a calculator. The arbitration fee is $10,000, which the union and the employer split. Plus there's legal fees. So we're probably looking at between $8,000 to $12,000 to take that to arbitration to fight that issue. Okay? So should we spend $8,000 to $12,000 to not spend $5,000 or $6,000? If we lose, we're still then it goes 8 to 12, or it goes $13,000 to $17,000. Because if we take that to arbitration, back pay is given on every single arbitration award. I don't know of any arbitration award that doesn't include it. That's a known. The arbitrators give you that. As far as the insurance goes in this contract, last November we saved $156,000, and paying their first out of pocket of $2,000. We changed from them having a deductible. We saved over $102,000 net, and that's if we had to pay $2,000 for every employee last year, right? We voted on that here, and we all voted unanimous.
We had to vote that night, yep.
We voted that night, and We all voted for it because of the cost savings to the township.
And we thought it was gonna be a one-year
Can I finish?
deal.
Please. Okay, we voted to approve that. What this contract did is we took their current working conditions, which meant their hours, their lunch breaks, their vacation, their sick leave, everything they already had, and we put that all in writing. In fact, we even improved on some job descriptions, which I thought they were very good. I'm not sure, you know, they were already there when I joined into the negotiations, but they were very good. Everything from Cinda's job to Vicky's job. I mean, everybody's job description is spelled out and then their job duties. What we did is pretty much what was the known job, their duties, their benefits, their holidays that they already received, their vacation schedule. We put that in this contract. Yes, we did put 2.5% raises in there, and they did it for a 4-year contract. So
And this is each year, correct?
The next raise will be each year.
Every year.
Right.
2.5 every
Right.
year.
Yeah, I mean, Social Security got 2.6, they got, you know, they're getting 2.5, but those are very modest raises. You know, and you like to use other people's comparables. The city gave a bunch of their bargaining units 4% a year for the next 3 and 4 years.
Yep.
So, I think for us to get 2.5% here is very good. The insurance, before they had the bargaining unit, they paid zero out of pocket for anything, for the individual plan. I want to clarify that because it was said in the public comment section that they get all their insurance paid. They pay for the family plan. No one gets the family plan for free. We only provide the individual insurance, which, for your comparison, the city of Collinsville pays for the individuals too. However,
No premium at all?
not for the individual,
Okay.
only for the family plan. They all, and granted, we pay for their dental as far as, ours is a joint plan. Collinsville has to pay for their dental. So, you know, they do have to pay a little bit more.
And
But-
just curious, what is council's deductible? If they pay zero premium, what is their deductible?
$650 a year.
Okay.
Okay, so when they organized, they were paying nothing. In this contract, they're gonna be paying, essentially it's $25 a month, $300 a year, okay? They made movement on that, and they're gonna be paying towards their insurance. Is that $650 a year? No, it's not. But the purpose of this first contract was to get everything they already had and lock it in. So, for people to say they're not paying nothing for their insurance, upon signing this contract, we're gonna go back to June 1st with retro, but the $300 out of pocket's gonna start back then too, because that's the date of this contract started. Okay? So, for everybody to say that we gave away the farm on this contract, I don't think it is. After last meeting, the terms of this contract as presented tonight, you and I, Jack, and Preston from the Laborers Hall, the Laborers organization, we had a little private meeting.
It wasn't a meeting.
We met in a room, okay? You call it what you want.
Well, if there was a meeting, it would have been
discussed-
illegal.
No, it
So-
wasn't. There's just two of us there.
Okay, so it's not a meeting, that's my point. Go ahead.
It wasn't an official township meeting, but it was
That's
a
right.
pretty much
We're
a
just talking,
negotiation.
right.
But
Go ahead.
he presented what their last offer was, and you said you could live with that. Those were your words, I can live with that, and you shook his hand. Now, you're totally against everything. We're all...
No, I'm not against everything, Dan. Don't put words in my mouth. I could go off on you. Listen, I'm not against everything.
Settle down now, let's talk.
No, I'm just.
You're against
You don't
the
have to
contract.
yell.
No, I'm against, listen. I went into a room, all right, and just so you can understand, because obviously you don't know me, I want to say yes. I honestly, I want to say yes, and I told Preston this right to his face. I said, I want to say yes, but I've given you my best and final 2 times now. 2 times, and it comes back, and no, we can't do that, and it's a little bit more, all right? So, did I leave saying, yeah, I think I can live with that, or I can live with that? Sure did. The moment I hit right there, I'm like, I don't think that's a fair deal for the taxpayers. Everybody knows, same deal. You go look at a nice car or a nice house. You're like, yeah, I'm going to get that. You go home, you talk to your wife or your whoever, and you're like, that's not the best deal, all right? That's all it is. What I'm wanting to do, I'm wanting to get somewhere with this, because I do think that we're close. There's a lot of this I can live with, Dan, even though it's not the very best on the health insurance or not the very best for raises. I could live with it, okay? But everybody knows, you start at a point, all right? It's 2.5 every year. On those health insurance, all right, we were brought that deal in one night, and we had to vote on it, all right, and it was a good deal. For us, we saved the taxpayers money, and it saved our employees money, and so we voted on it.
Last year and this year both.
Right. Point is, everybody knows health insurance costs changes a lot. So the problem that I'm having is when we say they pay 0 premium, all right, and they pay such a low deductible, how in the world can we go to the next contract and say, hey, we need to move the other way? That doesn't happen. It always goes in the government's favor or the employee's favor. Always.
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
In 4 years, we show the union at the bargaining table what our premiums have done from the date of this approval of the contract to that date when we sit down at the table. And you know what? We'd like to get some more money towards health insurance because here's how much our rates have gone up. You guys are paying this much. And that's when the bargaining starts.
Right, and so my fear is...
They started at 0
in that
when we hit the table.
2 years, my fear is that, and I want to answer your other question, but I'll let Mike go. Go ahead.
I want to concur with Dan on several things in that. Me being in the union and the union rep for years and stuff like that. The other thing in this is health insurance. They already have the health insurance that they have. And I don't care what the union contract is and whatever. You try to subtract that from them, you're going to get your butt kicked in arbitration. I've been there, I've seen it, and I've been in a union where we won it numerous times over the state. And you better watch what you're doing when you get into that with certain things that they've already had. If it's new things they're asking, yeah, there can be negotiations. And the other things, no.
So you just said, if you take back, you're going to get your butt kicked in arbitration. You just made the point that I'm fearing. I'm fearing in a couple of years
if you take away, would you let me explain it? If you take away from them that was, were one that said about taking 5% away from them of their health care insurance.
5% away what?
Their health care insurance.
Yeah.
Making them pay for 5% of it.
I never suggested that, but go ahead. I would like them to pay
I
some
wish
premium.
you would watch your tapes,
I never said 5%. What I'm saying is, that might be from somebody else. I want the premium. Let me go back then. What you're saying is, you can't take away from them. That's basically what you're saying. You can't start with this and then take away because you're going to get your butt kicked in arbitration. That's exactly what you said. That's my fear. We're already starting at the bottom level, charging 0 premium. What happens when our insurance, hold on, Mike, just let me finish, and I'll let you.
I at least put my hand in the air and encourage this.
But the point is, when we're starting at ground level, all right, when our insurance rates rise, you're right. We can't go back to them and say, hey, we need you to start paying a premium, like you just said. That's my fear, okay? And so the other point that I want to make, when I started, I said my biggest problem was the back pay. That was my biggest problem. I can live with a lot of it, okay? This contract, the public has to understand, and I know you don't like them, you said that you're mad that I put the contract for people to view it. What way did you let the taxpayers know?
Come to the meeting.
Last meeting, it wasn't out between the last meeting. How would they even know? Your constituents.
Because it wasn't updated.
Okay, so the point is this. The taxpayers deserve to know what is in it, okay?
I agree.
All right, so this contract doesn't even go into effect until April 1st, correct?
2018. It's already in it. We'll go back retrospectively.
So the new one doesn't we're starting the new one. I thought I read 2019.
It should say 2018.
Okay. And so when does that insurance deductible start?
this year.
June 1st, 2018.
Okay, so because we had spoke, and listen, things have changed, Jack, too. You're saying about me saying yes, there's things different right here that they've changed since, I said, it says June 7th, first of all, that the township was notified. It says right here in the letter from Preston, June 7th.
I don't know what you're showing.
This is what you gave me. It says June 7th.
Okay.
Well, why in the world, why are we back paying? I don't, that's my issue, is the back pay, okay? Because they didn't even join the union until that letter says June 7th. I just don't, it's like giving tax money away, and I don't, and you say it's a little, we should do this because it's a little amount, okay?
I didn't say that. I said it's between 5,000 and 6,000.
And we would lose in arbitration. I'll use the same, okay, I'll use the same scenario, Dan, I'll use the same scenario on the 2.5 years law, all right? And you even said it. It's little peanuts to everybody, but raise your hand if $100 around Christmas time would actually, you'd like that in the mail. Raise your hand. Anybody out there? $100? All right?
Point of order.
My point is this, Dan. We would also lose, and our attorney said, on that 2.5 years law. If you say no when it's giving it back to the taxpayers, but then you say yes when it's taking it from the taxpayers, that's not fair.
They're welcome to file a tax claim. They are welcome to file it if they think they're due that.
That's what our attorney said.
Yep, they can file a tax claim.
They would definitely win.
Yeah.
They would definitely
That's
win.
fine.
Well, why won't you give them their money back? It's little money.
It's not the fact, the point of the matter is, it's not, they can file a tax claim, but we could also show what steps we've taken. So, you know what? It's a matter of what the judge is gonna say.
I was using the
Card
same,
can tell you about that.
I was using
$3 million.
Stop, now, we're gonna call for a vote, because we're not getting nowhere.
no, we are. I want to try to get somewhere. So Dan, you are for giving the employees
Back pay.
the back pay
Yes, I am.
till June the 1st, when this board was not even notified, and covering up for the mistake.
Thank you for repeating that again.
Okay, you're for that. Just want to make sure of that.
Okay,
It's part of the contract.
that's it. That's it. We're
Call
just
for a
going
vote.
Call for a vote.
You called for a question, right?
No, call for
I'll second that.
We got a
Trustee
motion
Cox?
and a second. Roll call.
No.
We had the first and second already. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
And Supervisor Allen?
Yes. Moving on.
Change the bank resolution, what is that?
I'm not seeing that
Okay.
item.
The bank resolution is, as of January 1st, there's a new law that the clerk has to attest and sign a test on every check that goes out for the township, be it, Road and Bridge or here.
Okay.
So, we have an option, the bank, I called the bank and asked them because they suggested in our information that we check with our banks because different ones have different rules. Collinsville, our account is at First SCB, they do not insist that we have to sign a new signature card. However, they said there's the option, we can leave our resolution with them as it is now, which means we check ourselves on our checks and make sure before they go out that they have both
Do you have
signatures,
to sign the checks or just review them?
sign it.
So we have to have two signature lines, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
The clerk,
when I was in the other day, my suggestion was, and you seem to like it, on the checks, can we have two signature lines, so you can't cash the check unless both of you sign it? And
they
then
won't do that.
They won't do that?
Well, we probably could do that, but we would have to have all new checks printed, and we have a lot of checks, and that's expensive.
And let me ask my secretary.
No, that's not expensive.
Let me ask my secretary too, because she works the hard. Yeah,
Okay.
and explain it to.
As far as the two lines on the check with the new system software system that we're putting in with QuickBooks and that, we are probably gonna have to switch to new checks anyhow, so we're gonna do the two lines on the check.
Okay.
When we have to worry.
That's what we should do.
Well,
Can you not just sign the current checks on that two signatures on one line?
Yeah, you
Put
could,
the
or
line
one
slash,
sign above the line and the
This
other
is
one
what the
behind
state
below.
shows.
right, I mean, I know that's what they're showing, but if we just get both, two signatures on there, we're meeting the
But my,
Yeah.
statutory
but my
requirement.
point is, when you go to cash it, okay, if it only has one signature, it's just like if you get an insurance check and you have two names on a card, it says do not cash unless everybody has
Well,
signed
he's
it.
saying if there's two
This is
signatures.
but have the two lines, it's not gonna cost us anything, and then that will stop any bad thing that could possibly happen.
You can put two signatures on one line, I don't think it's a requirement, you have to have your own line.
Oh, he's saying we're gonna save money, because we'll get rid of our.
No, no.
I would ask the bank if two people can sign on one line.
Yeah.
If they say if it's legit, then we'll do that. Why
I will
write new
ask them
checks?
that, but the resolution was about, what it pertained to is, they can do the checking for us and make sure, you know, specifically for our checks, make sure they all have the two signatures, but it would be a charge of $25 a month.
Per account.
Yeah, if we let them get involved. But you said, what you said.
How much does it cost to make you?
I know it, that's my point.
Well, there's more than one account.
Yeah, right.
No public comments.
It's just trying to help them to remind themselves, because this is something new that both have to sign. That's all it is, it's just reminding, oh, Terry can't just sign now, Galen has to sign.
We feel we've got it covered.
Oh, that's my point, however you wanna make sure that it's covered.
Next item.
Okay.
Everybody wants to be informed, so I'm
So we
just
don't need to worry
informing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
moving
Thank
on
you,
to the
Galen.
comments, the assessor's comment.
I made mine already.
You done, sir?
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
thank you very much for being here. Road commissioners' comments. Larry, you got any comments?
No, everything's fine.
I wanna thank the road commissioners, people, because all the work that's done
Yeah.
on the Christmas, they did it and they got the big tree up in the back today. It looks wonderful.
I was driving by and it was like the worst day so far of the year, it was like that rainy, cold, windy day, and they're out there doing it, so.
Yeah, I was inside answering phones.
Yeah.
Did you have something else, Larry?
No, I don't have anything else.
But thank you very, very much.
Well,
Oh, now we're going into executive sessions to review the job application.
Motion to go in executive session.
Did I miss something?
No, we're just pursuant to 5 ILCS 120, Section 2C. We're going to discuss individual employees, potential individual employees, going to executive session pursuant to that exemption.
Is it the same position?
Second.
Who first?
Okay.
Done, that's it, that's it.
I bought it as I could. Did they accept it already on their end?
Yes, they both.
Hey, Phil, it was already being a great deal. We were just authorizing